What's up, guys?
What is happening, everybody?
I'm Ty.
And I'm Max.
And you're listening to the Wilderness Whiskey Roundtable podcast.
Welcome back. It is episode 3 already of season 2.
Season 2, episode 3. And you're tuning back in with you and me.
With your host.
Us.
Kind of funny, we just had to restart because we just did that whole intro and Ty didn't realize that his mic wasn't in front of his face.
No, it was underneath the desk sill, actually, so I'm standing here looking at the camera, just like talking. So, we restarted. It's alright.
Funny little blooper reel.
It's been a long week, we'll say that.
It has been. The holidays are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us are ready for Christmas.
Nope, I still have like 4 people to shop for.
Work is crazy.
Stupid crazy.
It's insane, but we're still making time to get out and do some of the shit that we enjoy.
Yeah, like for everybody, this time of year is a little harder to sneak out, and after having basically a full winter of brutal bullshit last year, just too warm to do anything. I personally know I've been itching like extra, and so really been pushing the limit on trying to make a push to get out as much as I can, to the point where I actually kind of feel bad for my wife. I'm like, can I go fishing again, please?
Yeah, we're trying to do so much right now too, which is crazy. Like, you know, we film on Wednesdays. We typically try to edit right away. Mm-hmm. Mondays we're posting. Like, I think our wives are getting sick of you, like us as the others.
Well, I picked up on that little social cue there. So your wife doesn't like me now, huh?
My wife?
Yeah.
Why?
You just said our wives are getting sick of you.
No, us as the others. Like your wife
you
is
said
getting
you
sick
first,
of me.
so
no,
now I'm like,
no.
No, I get it.
Notice how she didn't come over yesterday, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of weird.
She was invited.
Kind of weird. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. No, but like you put that all together, like our Monday nights go to posting these because for some reason it takes 7 hours to post our podcasts.
Yeah, if anybody is YouTube's heavy, reach out.
We're having no problem posting the audio version at all. I mean, that's within half an hour probably.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. So we just started doing video this season, obviously, and usually it's easily a 6-7 hour process for YouTube, and it's not like we have to do anything after we get all the info up and like post it, but then it just loads and loads and loads forever, and it's very frustrating because usually after about 3/4 of the way to like 90% of the way, it's
like it times out or something happens.
It crashes, so we redo it, and then it's another 4 hours. So frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and it's like sometimes we have to let it run overnight, and then it actually doesn't post until the following morning, so then we're technically a day late. I don't know. It's stupid. We've been getting good feedback on it, though. A lot of people are liking the video.
Yeah.
Which is sweet.
That is cool.
Because our 2 ugly mugs.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Look at us snacks up there. Attack. Come on. Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's happening?
Yeah. Hey, married. Back off, ladies.
Settle down, women.
Geez. No, we've really been just kind of pushing ourselves to stay on top of everything and try and also get out fishing and then try and find some time for holiday stuff here. Next week it's going to be stupid crazy, so...
Yeah, you know, we might not have a ton to talk about next week. It might be one of those, I don't know, we'll probably still do a holiday episode. It might be just kind of recapping some of the fun stuff that we get. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see if we get out at all next week. I mean, we're going to have some stuff to talk about because we're going to be getting out in the next few days.
Yeah.
So.
It might not end up being Wednesday, being that it's Christmas Day, but we'll figure it out.
I thought you were coming over for Christmas.
I will be in the cities.
Yeah. When am I supposed to give you your present?
Right now?
Oh.
I knew it was coming.
That's nasty.
Oh, God. No, so, yeah, we got out...
For Saturday.
Saturday morning we went out. You guys are going to start thinking we're bad fishermen or something, because it was a piss poor day again.
Not great. We went to a different lake. We found fish. That was the difference here, is that we found plenty of fish, probably thousands of fish actually.
Yeah, like any spot in the lake we went, we marked them, found them. They'd chase for like 3 seconds and then they would just die.
Well, it was funny because like watching them on the graph and everything, like doing that typical thing where it's like, okay, buckle up, like it's gonna happen. You know, they're charged up, their nose up at it, and then all of a sudden they just get to it and they sit for a little bit, and then either they'd bolt or they'd just like slowly back off. And it was tough. I mean, we caught a couple fish. It just wasn't great. I mean, we chased them all over. We couldn't find active ones, so we kind of just ended up hunkering back down and hoping that, you know, they'd eventually roll or get hungry or something, and it was just meh.
We pulled every cookie we had in our jar out of that fucking day, too. We tried everything, so... it was right after, kind of right in the middle of that storm we just got last weekend, so that's obviously a big proponent of it, I think. And then one of us wanted to go out Friday, but the other one of us did not, because he's, you know, signing up for extracurricular activities, for extra work for no reason on Friday, Saturdays now. So we missed a really good opportunity.
Break from that, though, which is nice. They don't come back in until like the second week of January.
Mr. Maxwell working at the Mavs games over in Mankato there.
Doing too much stuff.
So yeah, it sounded like Friday was a little bit of a better day right before that storm came through, which is
pretty
usually
typical, yeah.
Usually a pretty good chance that you're gonna do well on those days. And we talked to a couple guys who said they did. So
yeah.
Slow Saturday, that's alright. We got out. We don't really give a shit. Just kind of hanging out there again, like we talked about last time. That's our area, so
yeah.
It's no harm, no foul, really. Where I caught a sheep's head, and you caught a little dink perch.
Crappie.
Crappie, not perch, sorry. Yeah.
Perch have been on our mind lately. We've been itching for some perch. So.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of perch videos because they're pretty hard to come by around this within like 20 minutes of here anyways.
We got a couple lakes that we're going to try that have some reports that have a little bit better perch population, so we're going to dabble around here in the next couple weeks trying to find some, but in the next couple of days, probably Friday, I think we're going to try to sneak out and so ice report first. The lake we were on had at least 12 inches of solid quality ice.
That was pretty impressive, actually. I was kind of shocked to measure that, and I was like, wow.
For everybody who's listened to the last few episodes, tell Tyler I told you so.
Why?
Because you were so worried about the ice deteriorating, and then all of a sudden we come back out.
Get off it.
Do you think it's okay to bring the track sled? And then we go to drill our first hole, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps... I was like, when is this going to... Like, when am I going to break through here? I'm going to need to put the extension on the live scope pole. We were damn near maxing that thing out.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Already having to put... Which, granted, Garmin do a better job.
Yeah, come on. Have a better pole. Have an extendable pole.
Yeah, like a foot of ice, and you can't
I get it's their early ice thing, whatever. That being said, obviously check all of the lakes. That lake is small. It had basically a week's jump on everything else, so... Not all lakes are going to be at that point. We are starting to see quite a bit of like ATV, four-wheeler, side-by-side traffic. Some people are getting a little frisky and putting out some smaller skid and wheelhouses. So
yeah, don't be driving your half ton out there. Silly. I know there is somebody who did. Your balls are clearly bigger than your brain.
It's bigger than mine, but I guess my brain's bigger.
Well, you know, I salute your testament to ice fishing, but it ain't worth that.
You gotta live to be able to fish.
Yeah, and sinking a pickup is never a good thing. So, Especially now with your
pond in the
wheelhouse
sky
behind
is
you.
probably better than the fishing we've been experiencing.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's time to just send it.
Send it.
We all just get a big batch of Kool-Aid and drink it together. Why don't you all come up to my compound and we'll just hang out for a while? No, we'll keep making the push. Sounds like Friday, I think. I was going to say tomorrow. Fucking E.
I know, it feels like Thursday. It's so weird. The only thing that's stopping me from thinking it's Thursday is the fact that we're recording this right now.
Yeah, and that didn't even stop me.
Yeah.
I've thought it all day. I woke up and I thought it, and then it's been, like we said, it gets really crazy this time of year up at the meat market there. So it's just kind of been 3 days now of just nonstop hell.
Just craziness.
Retail sucks this time of year, and there's no way to sugarcoat that. Whether you think so or not, it sucks being the guy behind the counter giving you your stuff. It's fine. I'm glad we get to help people, but
when we do 57 meat and cheese trays in a single day,
yeah, it gets bad. Exactly.
No, so we're looking forward to the weekend. Friday we got plans to go check a couple of lakes, predominantly one that we got our eyes set on. And depending on what we see, hopefully we can get out there relatively early in the day with enough time to do what our secondary plan is if we find something worthwhile.
We are hooking her up, baby. It's time to get the castle out, I think.
Yeah, if we're sitting on 12 to 14 and we find fish, the old side-by-side is going to go into the trailer and it's going to do some tugging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to take her out there. I'm not driving the pickup out there yet. That's just stupid. Don't be stupid. Yeah, I'm excited. Last year it was a lawn ornament, so it's exciting to think that we're already that close. And, I mean, regardless, say we get out there and there's only 11 inches, then so be it. You know, like, we'll wait another few
we're not
days.
going to do anything stupid. I mean, we're basing it all off of, like I said, a smaller lake that had a head start. But, you know, we've had good lows again. It hasn't broke above freezing, I don't think. Even our highs have been under.
The last couple days, high 30s. Monday, Tuesday was high 30s.
We're 26 right now, midday.
Yeah, my truck said 24 today.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday was a little warmer.
But our lows were single-digit lows, too, which...
Correct.
It helps. And you spend more time in your lows at this time of year than you do in your highs, which is nice.
And our single-digit lows are coming back up here towards the end of the week. So
yeah, we got a mess of them.
warms back up next week, I heard, though, so...
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't mind going through like phases like that as long as it's not for long durations, because like those are the days like, you know, we'll go out to one of our hole hopping lakes and just chase them hard. Mm-hmm. You know, but it'd be nice to get the castle out, hunker down on a nice spot.
Well, and the biggest like benefit, because we like hole hopping, and then I like having the castle out there because it just gives the opportunity for the family to come out.
Yeah,
so.
And I like to, like, it's kind of like your home base type thing. Mm-hmm. Like, we've done that a couple of times before, too, where, you know, you still run and gun it, but, like, you come back to warm up, or you come back for lunch, you come back to hang out, play cards, throw a movie on, drop the rattle reels, sleep, whatever. You know, like, that's where they're super nice.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times where it's like, you're on... you know, a point where there's walleyes roaming through and you can just sit in it and, you know, you hunker down and you sit. You do it in flip overs and hubs and, I mean, there's a time and a place for all of it. So it just all kind of depends on what you're chasing and what the situation is.
Well, and at that point, too, a lot of times, sometimes you do get sick of running and gunning. Obviously, we're early in the season yet, so we're not, but...
It's so much work, though, like...
Popping holes.
Holes and dragging stuff behind you, and... We were just talking about a kind of a cool idea, and maybe it'll come to fruition. We won't talk about it, but
You can't know because we're going to get rich off of it.
Big get-rich-quick scheme.
Mm-hmm. Pyramid totally.
Style.
Yeah. So if you click the link down below.
If you guys wanna be the bottom of the pyramid, let me know.
You just have to tell a friend, but you're not selling anything.
Right.
But you're not buying anything. But
you don't
just
have to hold any inventory other than like $100,000 worth of it.
Well, you just have to you give us an initial $1,000, and that gets you in.
Right.
We teach you your course, and then your course you raise more teammates that also do the same thing. But you're not selling anything, but you're selling something.
And you're selling yourself more than you're selling us.
Yeah, and we're not selling you because you're selling you, and we're selling us, and you're you for us for me. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been almost sucked into that bullshit, but I have. Have you?
Mm-hmm.
I was close. At 3 different meetings with this guy.
Yeah.
We met at the McDonald's off of Riverfront.
Oh, nice. That's a good lead off.
Oh, my God. Because he was coming down from the cities.
Is they're kind of good at it. And they almost trick you into thinking whoa, this maybe isn't what all of these horror stories are. And then you sit back and you're like, no, but it is.
Because none of it made sense.
Exactly what you
But then he would talk to you and all of it made sense.
Yeah, and dollar signs make total sense.
Yeah, and he'd have these fucking sheets and he'd show you where you would grow, how you grow, what he was making. When I believe the guy. I think he was making damn good money.
Yeah, I think you can do it. I mean, I've seen plenty of people do it. I don't know. It's not for me.
They wanted me to drive, at the time I was living in Mankato, to Minneapolis for bi-weekly meetings for 3-4 hours at a time.
Big team guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly meetings up there, seminars, all that, the whole shtick.
That's how you get better, dude. You gotta fully commit. Dude, you gotta invest in it.
Yeah, he's $1,000, and I was young at the time. I was 22.
You're I can do
23.
This.
I was
ambitions are high.
That sounds really cool. And then he's because my wife was man, I don't know, and then ended up coming with me to one of the meetings, and she was still she was actually for a little bit oh, that sounds kind of nice, and
you're your own boss.
We seriously talked about it, and then we both slept, and not even shitting you, the next morning we woke up and I totally just stonewalled this guy. I didn't fucking call him.
Yeah, you just look each other in the face, just out of dead sleep. You're bad idea.
Yeah, we're this is stupid. What?
Ixnay. No.
I'm selling something, but I'm not selling something, and you need to build a team. I'm what the no. Don't fall for it.
No, but we actually do have I think, kind of a cool idea for innovating hole hopping. So stay tuned, because...
Well, we're not going to be able to talk about it till we start getting shit done on it.
Well, it's just an idea. Just speaking it out to you guys, because we're totally transparent, and you guys are our team, and you're behind us entirely. And you guys, if you guys can find a team just like you guys are to us, the opportunities are endless, really.
I'm thinking just skis. So we take... No, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you guys. Not yet.
No, we're going to be fiddling around with some fun stuff here.
It's supposed to make our lives easier, so we came up with a little idea on the lake last weekend, because I was carrying a bunch of heavy shit around, and Max didn't have to really carry anything at all. He just punching holes.
Just an auger.
A fucking drill with an auger bit that sucks. You have the worst auger. So Max took a crank down. And he put a little, what do they call those pins? They're
a
J pin or cotter pin, yeah. And he stuck it through the hole where the handle used to go, and he chucked that part into his drill. And so the thing is not meant to go fast.
Yeah, oh, come on, dude.
It's a two-bladed auger, and you get to the bottom of the hole.
Auger,
and 2 little rectangle auger bits, which would work great as a hand auger, but
it works fine.
It works. You catch the bottom of that fucking hole.
I don't have any problems with it.
And it about rips both your arms off. Oh, I hate your fucking drill auger setup.
Oh, whatever. But no, yes, hole hopping is exhausting, especially when you're hauling stuff around. And we drill tons of holes. I mean, we drill hundreds of holes when we have batteries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was another thing. And I'm not going to point fingers because, we were all just kind of trying to do our part. But we didn't bring batteries for Max's drill.
Yes, we did.
We didn't think we brought batteries.
You remember last trip, you said, I'm going to put this in this bag. There's just a random Shields bag laying in the bottom of the sled. And that happened to be the bag that he put it in, and he told me he put it in, but we just totally just spaced on it.
To be fair, though, you said it was in the bucket.
I thought it was in the bucket because it was in the bucket till you took it out and put it in the bag.
Oh my god, it was kind of a shit show. We ran out of Garmin battery. We ran out of. We did have 2 backup Garmin batteries. We put the second one in. Dead. For some reason, it was dead. Put the third one in.
All 3 of them were on the charger from the night before up until when we left. Like, just should have green lights on everything, green for go. No. Like, it was just fine. And then the third one was just a little like standard Vexlar one, and we got 5 minutes out of it before the black box disconnected because it didn't have enough voltage.
So like the screen stayed on, but you couldn't actually use it for anything.
The live scope pulls so much that it just didn't have enough power to even do anything.
Yeah, so we ended up switching back to the old school. I had my Vexlar, and then he ran and grabbed his Garmin.
Just flasher unit Garmin.
Yeah. So we fished that way, which it didn't make a difference. It was just they were shut off and whatever. It was fine. It was funny though because it was like, oh well, we can't. What we had talked about is switching to another lake that was in the area there, and
yeah, we first talked about running and gunning even harder, and it's like, okay, we've already drilled 30 holes. We're seeing the same thing on all of these. Yeah. Like, we kept finding fish. They were all just stagnant. So it's like, okay, like, either we hunker down or we totally veto this lake and do something different. Mm-hmm. And we were close. And then we looked at all the batteries, and it's like, how are we going to get 2 holes out of the auger?
Yeah, we were out of battery on the auger, or so we thought. Yeah. We had a full one sitting in the sled.
Until we packed up. By then, it was like, we were on our way to get lunch and go home. Like, yeah. It was just kind of done.
Yeah, stupid. So that's been our kind of shit show fishing of the years. It's been kind of like that. So the one day we actually find fish, finally, and they don't bite. Yeah. And then we lose half our operation all at the same time.
Boom. Everything's down.
So... No, it was still fun. It was good to get out, and then we had a good lunch over at one of our favorite spots. Yeah. I feel like we can't say anything.
We can't. Great place. Killer sandwiches.
God damn it.
The E-tabs are always hot.
Yeah, they were.
They were hot.
They were hot.
We paid for our lunch.
It was over...
yonder.
That direction.
Which is hilarious because they have no idea what direction we're facing in this office either.
It is that direction.
It is that direction.
It's straight that way. So if you're coming off my mic here, you don't turn left. You're going to want to go.
If somebody can figure that out, I will give them props.
Yeah.
You can fish with us.
Mm-hmm. What's coming up?
We got some fun stuff coming up. I mean... ICOG's coming up in about a month.
Yeah. I believe it's the 23rd through 26th.
23 through 26.
Don't super quote me on that.
Nope, that's correct.
Did you double check that?
I double checked that, yeah.
Because I know I had said it, and then I didn't double check it.
Yeah, so. No, I checked it. That's correct. So, obviously, we did it last year. We've recorded a episode talking about it. It's a blast. I'm excited to do it again this year. We were kind of contemplating on whether or not we really wanted to, or if we wanted to just kind of do a different trip. And I just said, let's do it again, and let's do it a little different this time.
Yeah. We stayed right in the group, which was fine. And it's just, there wasn't a whole lot of catching. I feel like last year already compared to this year is very different, though, because Red's fucking hot right now.
Red is on fire, which is another thing we're going to talk about, because I think me and Danny are going to go up next week.
Fucker.
You got the invite. It's just you were too cool.
Oh, too cool. More like 2-year-old.
What's a 2-year-old?
My tyrant daughter.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Twos.
he drops this on me today at work. He goes, guess what I'm going to do? I'm like, what? He goes, I'm going to get him to Red Lake. I'm like, we both are, buddy, remember? And he goes, no. I'm going to Red Lake next week.
No, I said 26th through the 29th, which is hilarious because that's the day that the ICOG event ends in January. Because you're like, no, like, we're going to be up there right before that. Like, how are you going to do a Sunday to Wednesday thing?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the hell he's talking about. I'm like...
And I was like, wait a second, it's not Wednesday. That's not a Sunday to Wednesday.
Are you name dropping who's you're going with, or no?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll do some content up there.
All right, well...
It should be pretty fun.
That sounds like an OnlyFans thing.
WWROF.
Put it down in the comments if you guys want to see a WWR porn. I doubt it, but I don't.
No, there can't be anybody.
No.
Can't be anybody. Mm-mm. And our wives don't even listen, so they're not even going to say yes.
No, so we're already kind of just fucked right off the get-go on it.
What if we just get the most amount of comments on our podcast ever?
Oh my god!
Like,
what if they're positive comments too? They're like, "Yeah, dude,
you guys should
get up on that thing." Oy. We'll look like the Hawk Tua girls. We'll be the double down version. Yikes!
Oh, gross.
No, so you're headed up there right after Christmas.
Yep.
You want to know what I'll be doing?
Taking care of a 2-year-old.
Taking care of a 2-year-old because my wife and her grandma and her mom are going to the Orpheum
Orphanage.
What's that theater up in Minneapolis?
Yeah, opioid.
No, that's a crisis. I don't know. Whatever.
I think it's the opium. I think it's the opium.
I don't think that's right.
I don't know. Where is it?
The Orpheum.
Orpheum?
Something like that. It's like Orth something.
Orpheum.
I'm getting stuck with it, though. Or I'm getting stuck up in the cities. I mean, not stuck with my daughter. That's not what I meant at all.
Stuck with it.
I would never call my daughter it. I'm getting stuck with the task is what I meant by it.
Yes.
So Thursday you'll be leaving for Red Lake, and Thursday I'll be... potentially, well, my father-in-law said he could do it. So, I'm like, well...
At that point, you're already halfway there. You might as well come the rest of the way.
I don't think that's even half.
Probably not.
Minneapolis is not half.
No, not even
Minneapolis
close.
Is a third, maybe. Maybe a third. That's an hour.
Because it's 6 hours to Red.
The center of Minneapolis is an hour and a half. And that's center.
Yeah.
So north of Minneapolis is easily 2 hours.
Yeah.
A fifth, maybe.
It is the Orpheum.
Mm-hmm.
With a PH, not a TH.
Oh, I always call it the Orpheum.
Orpheum. It's like an Orphean, but...
Orphan.
Orphean. So, yeah, I'm going to do a little pre-scouting for... Not that it's going to matter, because in another month it's going to be probably different, but...
Yeah. Where are you headed up there? Do you know?
I don't.
Do you know what resort you're going to or anything? Or resort you're going off of? No details, huh?
I don't. I bet I can figure it out right now.
Said user who invited you spared the details, huh? Yeah, so anyways, this jerk face is headed up there, and I'm gonna hang out and probably do nothing. I'm gonna have to take the day off, so... I got the odd chances my boss does listen to this, and that's my ask, I guess. I don't think he listens, so it doesn't matter, but... taking Thursday off. I'm hoping I could maybe go out for a little bit myself. We'll see if
you're gonna scout while I'm gone.
I might honestly go try Pryor again up there.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like semi decent for panfish. I think that's what I've heard to the grapevine.
We could do a little digging before I take off too, and kind of try to try to lay out some possible hot spots, just some remote scouting before.
Yeah, because we are buzzing up Christmas morning. We have to be up at our grandma's by 10 o'clock Christmas morning.
God.
So this, I guess, can kind of feather a little bit into our Christmas segment we're going to talk about anyways, because everybody gets freaking crazy this time of year. We have a 10 o'clock Christmas up in, it's north of Minneapolis, and we are an hour and a half away, so with a toddler, that should be just super fun getting her in the car at 8 o'clock.
Carry the 2.
8:30. And then we're going to bounce up for a 1 o'clock secondary Christmas, which is somewhere within northern part of Minneapolis as well. And I'm like, okay, when's our 2-year-old getting a nap?
Right.
And then she's not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's going to suck.
And then drive home or stay up there while they go to the Orpheum on Thursday. Well, it's like, okay.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's so much. I hate it.
I'm honestly even kind of dreading like doing all of our Christmas stuff and then having to take a 6-hour drive after all of it.
It gets to be a ton.
It's gonna suck.
It's so much moving around and like trying to stay like
happy and excited. Oh God, yeah, so exciting! I haven't seen you in forever. Ugh.
And it honestly, like, I have nothing. Obviously, I don't have anything against my wife's side of the family or anything, but like it's just been a lot because we've been up there probably almost 5 times in the last 2 months.
Right.
So it's just the point where I'm just sick of driving up there and then getting home and you feel like you've accomplished nothing. So it's not even on them. It's more just
it's
normal
just
life shit.
Yeah, everything compiling and just stacking up on it. And, so yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the whole Red Lake thing. Then we're gonna do ICOG. So we're gonna do Red Lake basically twice in a month period, essentially. And we decided this time that we're gonna try to push the castle itself way out there, like just whatever the furthest road it is, that's where we're gonna be. Just accept the fact that we're gonna be away from all of the shenanigans. But we're just gonna, if you're driving the castle out there, you just get in the truck and you just drive into the event. Like that. Right. I think that's the answer. And obviously we'll let you know if that is the answer, but
yeah, if we can find the fucking castle.
We said we'll be dropping a waypoint on where we put the castle because we were right in the mix of it last year. It actually might be easier to find the castle if it's just out there by itself.
I schnozzed whiskey all over my face when I said that.
We had a tough time finding the castle last year. And by we, I mean me. So we're gonna push way out there because that seems to be the answer on Red, is just get away from the crowds, and then whenever we want to go in for the festivities and the music and the drinks and
they do vendors and everything out there too, which is actually pretty cool. Last year sweet. That was fun.
That was.
They had a brewery on wheels out there last year.
Yeah.
With craft beers and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and it was tasty.
Yeah, it was good. That's actually what got Max lost. So, and me sleeping in front of the heater.
Yeah, it happens.
It was rough.
We'll bring our own booze for that this time.
Yeah.
It was like that was Sunday, wasn't it? Or was it Sunday? Saturday morning?
Saturday.
Yeah. Anyways, the vendor thing starts early, but we just decided that we'll just drive in for any of the events, and we'll just if we're gonna fish during the day, we'll just stay away from everybody and just try that this year. I mean, we moved we dropped the castle once, then moved it in, and it didn't really get any better. Maybe a little bit, tiny bit, but I think this year we're just gonna push way out. Just drop it on the furthest road that we possibly can.
And this year, we might not necessarily have to go to the farthest road we possibly can, because last year we were already pre-limited.
Right, because of the ice conditions.
The furthest road last year was 2 miles at that time?
Significantly less distance than what they would traditionally plow.
And people were killing it at the 2 mile mark.
Yeah.
That's what we found out.
Road 9.
Yeah, something like that. I think they only
had 9 roads, and I think normally they do up to like 17, 18, 20,
something crazy like that.
They push out there.
Because, I mean, I also don't think we need to push, 6 miles away.
No, I think we just need to be away.
Yeah,
right?
And I agree.
The way that they were letting people fish was there wasn't enough room to be away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were still on one of the further roads, but it just was, you're just limited because there aren't as many roads.
The funniest part about that, like, being in the ICOG side, we still did the best out of everybody.
Yes.
We did, which was impressive.
Aside from the people that I think they moved because they started plowing further on the second day, and there were people that pushed out further on the second day, and they did pretty well. I think it was probably pretty comparable to how we did.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was really necessarily better. Nobody was absolutely crushing them.
Well, and I think we're going to leave Thursday morning this year. Because what did we do last year? We went Thursday night, didn't we?
Thursday night, yep.
Yeah. Arguably, it'd be really nice to leave Wednesday night, I guess.
It would. And, get there and get set up and before, like, all the traffic starts coming. And we still kind of did beat a lot of the traffic, but there was a lot of people out there already on Thursday night.
Yep.
And I don't know how many of them were necessarily just for the ICOG event versus just fishing, but, whatever. If we could get up there in the middle of the week, that would be sick.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, just being as far away from Red Lake as we are. We obviously have to have... Well, don't have to. It's still fishing, not catching. But we'd like to have a good fishing experience at the same time because we're traveling. What it ended up being for us last year was 7+ hours. Yeah. Because we have to stop about halfway, refuel, eat, so on and so forth.
Roads were kind of shitty.
Yeah, we did have shitty roads as far, like once we got up north.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for travel conditions. I mean, it starts to add up. You're pulling a trailer, a wind, just all of that stuff starts to play a role. It adds to your time. So, yeah, it turned into every bit of 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah, I would say 7.5 to 8.
And I think it took us damn near 8 to 9 to limp our way home.
The home stretch was the worst part of that whole trip. And mostly because it actually took us almost... all of 2.5 hours to get off the ice.
Yes, yeah. We literally watched a whole movie.
Yeah.
We put a movie on the iPad.
Yeah.
And it almost had the whole movie
we did that. Yeah, we
done before we were off the lake.
Off the actual lake, and then it was limping it home. So we sat in that truck watched. So fucking long.
That sucked. It takes 2.5 hours to get off the lake, and you're ready for a break before you even get started.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I was ready to get out and stretch at that point. It was like, I'm sick of sitting in the truck. And we've just been sitting behind.
Line after line of castles.
Yeah, and they had that land bridge. Or not land bridge, but just ice bridge, I guess. Yeah. That you had to cross, and they had moved it. Over the period of time we were up there, they moved it
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because we had shitty ice last year.
It got kind of bad, too, to where it was like, they were slowing everybody down to basically stop and go. Mm-hmm. They only had so many people in, like, close vicinity to... Like, it probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but you had to get off the lake.
Yeah, they were actually only allowing one vehicle at a time, and they would actually stop the other one.
Yeah, no merging traffic either. Like,
right, it was like 200 yards before that crack on both sides, because there's people trying to come on, too, obviously.
Right.
And... So it was kind of crazy getting off, but I don't know. I'm.
That's another thing. Do we
stay till Monday?
Right. That's because I don't want to leave early.
Right.
So maybe you do a Thursday to Monday instead of a Wednesday to Sunday thing.
And I think we need to leave Thursday, ass crack at dawn. We spend Wednesday, get ready to go.
Yeah.
Fucking A, we're not gonna be able to podcast that day. We'll podcast on the way up.
We could do that.
That'd be fun.
This thing's portable.
That's true.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be an easy way to pass a chunk of time. It eats away a third of the trip.
Except for me, you're not going to get a lot of good content.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm zeroed in, especially when I'm pulling that
smart.
trailer.
Yeah, we really shouldn't be. We probably shouldn't be doing that. But
I do have the 12-volt plug.
Yeah, we could.
In the pickup
we
there.
technically
It wouldn't even be hard.
We could do it.
Maybe once we get like north of the cities. Because
Yeah,
as soon as we
true.
hit the cities, it's a fucking nightmare
Or
up there.
even like just getting like an hour and a half away from Red and then doing it. Like when it gets to be like you're not going to see anybody on the road,
right?
Because we really didn't when we got up there.
Well, and if we leave by like ideally 6, I feel like would be the move.
Yeah.
If we can be on the road by 6 a.m. Thursday morning.
Yeah, and you're up there by 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
House is dropped. You're set.
Well, and then arguably, it makes it less of like when we went up there later in the evening, I felt it was more of a daunting task than a fun task.
Correct. Yeah, it was 11 o'clock at night. It was dark. We already didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Right. First time being up there, so it was.
We snuck onto the lake. Didn't even pay a road pass.
No, we did.
The next day.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We did the next day.
Because we popped in and we're like, hey, like, what do we do? Should we go fish tonight? Should we, whatever? He's like, I would probably fish. He's like, it's full moon,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Push out there a little ways, get to road 5 or 7 or whatever. And then we just left and did it.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. We totally knew that they do road passes, but it was like, again, it was 11
Well, we
o'clock.
kind of knew. I wouldn't say that it was because I was confused at how all of it worked. I've never been on a resort lake in my life. It's you go out to the lake, and if somebody plowed, fucking great. If not, you risk it for the biscuit.
Right.
And that's how all our lakes down here are, because there's no resorts, there's no maintenance of roads, there's none of that shit. So we get up to this big one, who that's predominantly exactly what they do.
All they do, yeah.
Yeah, that like this time of year is probably arguably more profitable than any other.
Oh, they make all
there.
their money over these 4 months.
So it's like we're two southern Minnesotans not knowing what the fuck we're doing, and I was like, okay, do we just need to sleep in the castle tonight? Like, are we allowed to go on the lake? Are we not
Do you
allowed?
just sideline yourself and just park it and wait for the morning?
And that was just lack of knowledge.
And that was another thing too. Is normally the bar on a weekday is closed at 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, we're gonna get there late. They're gonna be closed. We're not even gonna be able to talk to somebody. We're just gonna have to sleep on the shore. Mm-hmm. Well, we get there. It turns out they stayed open until midnight because it was the day before.
Yep.
And the guy was super helpful. It just he neglected to inform us that before we went out, we had to pay a road pass. It wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah. And we paid it the next day.
Yeah,
so.
and, they recognized us, and
we went off to JR's. Big shout out to JR's. It's a fun resort. We had a good time. They had the bar right there, so that was fun. Definitely.
Yeah.
No, so I think this year try and take off earlier, be able to stop and not be in such a fucking panic rush, because that was kind of where we were at. We were in like a big beeline to get up there as fast as we possibly could.
And we were so excited about it too. You
Right.
know, like you get excited. You're like, we just want to go. We want to get up there. We were trying to beat it before they closed because we didn't know if we were going to get on the lake. And then we kind of came to the realization we weren't going to make it.
Yep.
But it was kind of one of those things where we're like, we just, we want to fish. We've never fished red. Like, you hear all these things. It was just too much excitement, too much pressure. Like, we put ourselves on a clock that we didn't need to be on. It was just all of those things.
Because we left late that day.
Yeah.
I mean, we left at what? 3?
3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe later than that even.
Yeah, it might have been.
It was 10, every bit of 10:30, 10:45. I knew we were kind of close to, like, when they close typically. Because we're like, hey, like, we called and we're like, hey, we're going to be kind of late. Like, what do we do? Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, no, we're open till midnight.
Yeah.
And didn't really give us any other information on the phone other than that. But it's like, okay, like, I knew we were close to that 10 o'clock period. So it was probably every bit of 3:30, 4 o'clock when we left.
If you guys haven't been up there, it's definitely worth the trip. Even if, I mean, end of the day, it wasn't the best fishing we've ever had, but it also wasn't the worst.
No.
And the experience itself was fun. Yeah. So.
And that's why I kind of, at the end of the day, was like, let's just do it again. Let's try it one more time. Let's take what we learned up there and kind of run with that, and just, make a new plan. You know, because we were battling, like, how close to the party do you want to be? How, like, because you're kind of splitting hairs. Like, it's like, if you want to be in the mix of it, you're probably not in the best fishing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the best fishing, you're a ways off from the event itself.
Right.
Well, you know, especially with the way the ice is trending right now, I feel a whole lot better about just commuting into the event.
Right.
And fishing on the edge.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with that. And worst case scenario, it ends up just being not good fishing. Fucking move it again.
Right.
Who gives a shit?
Right. And I think that's the other thing too, is like, we were kind of still like getting the hang of like how quickly we can move everything, and like, fuck it. Like, it's not that complicated to pick up and move. If you're up there for 4 days, just do it.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Something I gotta get on top of this year is, before we head up even, I gotta get me a fresh set of cables and just check everything over before we pull it that far. I think I'm still good on everything, but I know ICOG, which is where I've learned all my information from everything on Facebook there. Everybody's got extras of everything. So far I've just got extras of a couple things, but cables sounds like it needs to be a pretty high important docket on my list.
You almost make it like a list of like when, like how frequent you need to check things, and like when things, if it needs to be replaced every 5 years or 2 years, or like when do I need to, you know.
Well, and when I bought my house, the
maintenance.
cables had just been replaced, so that's been almost 3 years now. But then also with the lack of use of said cables, it's like,
yeah, did you buy yourself some time? It needs to be a look over. Yeah.
then I don't know. I don't know the answers. I haven't owned one long enough to where I can be like, oh yeah, it's probably time to
just not pros. Yeah.
I haven't owned a castle. I haven't been around castles until like when I bought one myself. My cousin never had one. He made his own, like, and it's not castle specific. The cranks are all the fucking same.
Right.
But I guess I never thought about that till literally I just said that. I could just ask Warren.
Yeah.
Big shout out to my cousin Warren who got me into ice fishing.
Big shout out.
No, so that's kind of our outlook for winter activities so far. That's in the books and guaranteed. You kind of had some new stuff come up, right?
Yeah, we got some hunting stuff, but I think this is a good time to take a little potty break.
I could pee.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be right back, and then we'll talk some hunting stuff.
We're only human.
Only humans.
All right, we're back, baby.
In action. We decided to light up a old stogie.
Couple of stogs. It's been a hot minute. We always used to have a couple of stogs ready for most of the episodes in the past season, so we decided to let her rip, and we're gonna see how this room maintains the visibility. I guess would be an argument. I would take a little bit of glass of that.
Yeah.
What we were just talking about, we're
gonna talk some hunting stuff.
Going, yeah. That's what we're doing.
As far as local Janesville birds go, non-existent. But Mankato area has got a lot of birds, and arguably there's still a lot of birds north of us. When we went up to the St. Paul Ice Show, there was piles of birds. Faribault, cities, still just packed. There's ash on your sweatshirt, you cheapers.
That's interesting.
So, we're going to try something. And we're going to push a little closer to the Mankato area. And I kind of got another little like bucket list style of hunt that I haven't been able to do. And now I am prepared for it. And we're going to try it. So, I've always wanted to do like huge sleeper spread style, or sleeper shell spreads. And I just keep seeing all of these people just killing them on frozen lakes with just, big sleeper shell spreads. And it's so easy to pack them in because most of them stack. I mean, even if they don't stack, you take the heads off, you throw the heads in a bag, and they still stack. So we're going to go to a little lake outside of Mankato area, and we're going to do an ice hunt.
You got a spot that you have access to? Or?
Yeah, it's a public lake, and it's not something that gets ice fished or anything, so I'm not really worried about, people being out there ice fishing or anything like that. But
you're not really worried about shooting an ice fisher? Mm-mm. That's good.
So
you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, that would be horrible,
Would it?
I don't know.
One less guy to compete with.
Yeah, that's true. One less guy. Get off my lake.
Get off my lake.
No, but it's going to be solely a traffic hunt, right? Like, there's not a lot of birds they're just sitting down on. They do it, but right now, like Mankato, the Fleet Farm Pond's still being held open. There's probably 100 birds on it on Saturday.
Last Saturday? I'm trying to think when I went.
When I went in, no.
I went
just yesterday for my appointment.
Yeah. It was open yet?
Yep.
Like a bigger hole?
Opened up a little bit more, and there's more birds on it.
I was going to say, so I drove by on Friday last week, and it was down to a hole that was maybe the size of this room. I thought it was over.
Yeah, and now it's probably about double that, because I saw it on Saturday the same way when I went in for the Mavs game.
Is that dead one still laying there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one that I don't know if he got cold, froze to death, or if he had a little bit of the bird fluenza.
Or just got clipped by somebody.
That's true if he was a cripple or something like that already. But yeah, there's a dead one that's locked up. He's in the ice now at this point. Mm-hmm. And the hole's actually shifted over from where it once was, because it was like right by that.
Yeah.
And now it's a little bit further to the left of it.
How the hell do you reopen that? That's something I'd be curious. That's a lot of body heat though, dude, because we had some cold freaking nights.
The thing is though, is like if a bunch of new birds showed up,
mm-hmm.
and they've been sitting on it, that's the thing that I'm a little bit worried about. Is right now what they're doing is they're bouncing from that and they're just feeding in the Fleet Farm grass, so it's like they're not going to make it to where I would be. So kind of trying to time it. Tomorrow it's supposed to snow. Tomorrow we're supposed to have northwest winds. It feels like a migrator day. It might be kind of tough to compete with true open water that's not too far from us, but it's worth a shot. We're running out of ideas. Like I said, it's kind of been a bucket list spread. I've been seeing people killing them that way. Like, it's just got me hyped about it.
So we're not fishing tomorrow.
I thought you said you couldn't fish tomorrow. That's why I decided that.
No, I can.
No, well then fuck it.
I'm kidding. I still can't.
All right, then I'm hunting.
No, I can if I want to do stuff on Friday.
See, that's the thing. Friday's a more flexible day. Yeah. Plus, it leads into the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna get the castle out, Friday makes the most sense for that. That's why I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna hunt Thursday.
Monday's Christmas Eve.
Tuesday's
no, it's not.
Christmas
Tuesday's Eve. Christmas Eve. Oh my god, Monday's gonna suck.
Monday's gonna blow.
Fuck.
Yeah, Monday's gonna suck. Because it's like, who puts fucking Christmas in the middle of the week?
Yeah, who did that?
That's stupid.
This is the worst Christmas we're ever gonna have here. Christmas on a fucking Wednesday. I feel like that's about the worst you could have. If you're working a retail job, I guess. So a lot of people I know have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
and
Thursday off. Yeah. And then they just feathered it into a Friday, because what are you going to get out of an employee on one day? Nothing.
Nothing, right. Except for a place like what we do, which sucks, because there's going to be people that decide that they need something.
I guess if you have aspirations, kid, don't work retail.
Yeah, do something different with your life. Did you just do a little Dunkaroo in the whiskey?
I did. I wet the tip
it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I wet the tip because this guy's a little dry.
Okay. We need to get a humidor.
We sure do. This is in Arturo Fuente
Fuentes.
Special.
Yeah, Arturo Fuentes are pretty good.
Which, if they held true to what they were going for in the first two words, they probably should have said Especiale.
True.
You
You can't do two Spanish words and then an English word.
I've got a brother-in-law who's from the Mexico, and he's a cool dude. Old Sergio, big
Sergio's
shout
pretty
out.
cool, yeah.
He's a good guy. You've met him, that's right. I forgot. I always forget that you met him.
Yeah.
Him and my sister-in-law are getting married, so I'm
Good for
sure
them.
all you care so much.
Yeah.
No, that hunt sounds fun. Where'd you say you had access to it? Did I miss it completely?
No, I'm just not going to talk about it.
I got you.
We're just going to, it's in Eagle Lake.
I don't need an exact.
It's in Eagle Lake.
Okay.
Which, like we said too, like you saw a bunch of birds off of Highway 60. There's obviously a bunch in Mankato area, so like it's worth it. I mean, I think like as we run out of ideas, like what's one more prayer, right? Like I don't know.
I'm not much for giving up, but I mean, it's fine. I guess you just keep trying.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep on trying. Keep on trying. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. I'd like to kill a couple more. The other hunting thing is, I think we talked about, I got a new bow. I handed my old one down to my wife. So we went down to, there's a archery range just outside of town in Mankato off of 169.
Mm-hmm.
Little, like, on the edge of the highway, dog park, comes down to the river, little hiking area. It's a pretty sweet spot, and they got a pretty good archery range there. So after we got everything situated on the bows and everything, we went down there to work on sighting some stuff in and get some practice shots in. And I love the bow, but I had a hell of a time. I had a hell of a time sighting in that Garmin sight.
How many shots you put through it?
Well over 100 for one pin.
How's your arm feeling?
Not great. I'm sore. I did slap the shit out of my wrist a couple of times, so my forearm's all bruised as shit.
So just in case you folks missed it, Max had to put 100 arrows, 100 rounds, whatever you want to call it. He pulled and shot 100 arrows to get one pin mark.
That's not normal. Like that's excessive.
And mostly because he's using a fancy Garmin thing that, the rest of us can't really afford.
Oh God.
Huh? No, I'm sorry. What? Sorry, I sneezed there. Yeah. Oh,
and I decided this year I'm shooting max draw weight out of my bow. So I'm shooting 70 pounds, which like that's not unheard of. That's not anything like special by any means. But to do it 100 times, is tough. That's taxing as all get out.
Well, you're just torturing yourself at that part.
Well, and that was the thing. Like finally I got that pin where I wanted it to, and I'm like, fuck, I've already put all of these shots through it. Like I'm getting a little shaky, right? Like pulling and holding that back over and over again, and then now to start to like extend your range. I'm like, this is pointless. Like, I just called it quits there, and I'll go back to, sighting in 25, 35, 45, so on, as I'm a little fresher now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I had one hell of a time sighting that sight in.
I remember, so I'm not a big bull hunter, but he had it off of his old bow, and I was kind of trying to figure out how the hell that thing worked. It's very high tech. I don't exactly know how it all works, but I kind of wondered that myself. I was like, are you going to have a hell of a time putting this thing back to where you like it? And sure as shit, he came in, Monday?
Yeah.
And he was like, look at this bruise. He's like, I put 100 rounds for my first pin mark. I'm like, yeah, ouch.
So, like, in theory, so on my Diamond Liberty, my Bowtech that I handed down to Danny, I had that thing dialed in, and I didn't really push it, but I had it dialed into 60 to where, like, I was shooting a 2-inch group out to 60. I felt pretty good about that. And I'm not probably taking shots out to 60, but like I just kind of wanted to test it. And I mean, anything from 10 to 40, maybe even 50, I was tight with. Like I felt confident, like I was going to kill whatever walked in front of me within 40 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That feels pretty good from an archery standpoint. And I kind of forgot how long it took me to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you slap that on a new bow, and the first shot I took, I just sailed it right the fuck over top of the target. Skipped over the hill, was like headed towards the highway. I was like, oh fuck, you know, and there's plenty of room out there. I mean, they put it in a good spot. It wasn't really dangerous, but it was like, oh god, you know, like you're like shit. You just see the thing sail, and I shoot lighted knocks, and I just see the lighted knock just skip off of the hill and just disappear, and I was like, oh no.
Hey.
Brand new arrows. I was luckily able to find it, but I was like, fuck, you know, like I was kind of anticipating shooting low, so I just went center mass on the target, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like, shit.
That's something I've always enjoyed, but like never pursued, was bow hunting.
Yeah.
Like I always remember where I got kind of the itch for it was back when we did the stupid high school like archery
with the little
stuff.
dinky bows in the gymnasium.
Yeah. But ultimately, like, I actually was a decent shot, which is always kind of cool.
It's so fun. I mean, when you are good at it, like, anything's fun when you're good at it.
And I don't care to deer hunt just because I cut fucking 7,000 of them a year.
Right. What's one more?
Ugh. Yuck. Not
the death of me.
Yeah. No, but so bow hunting has always been cool to me. I always enjoyed when we did our bow hunt or bow fishing thing.
Yeah.
I think if I'm going to utilize a bow, that's probably all it's going to be for. Which then at that point it's like, okay, especially around here, you're almost sparking up a whole new hobby, and we have about one lake where we could successfully do that hobby.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to build a fucking bow barge in southern Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it, personally.
No, the only way that it's like tangible is if you got like a duck boat that's fully like convertible to where you could put like a platform with all the lights. Just the shitty thing is you got to run a generator. Like there's a lot that goes into like truly like bow fish, like night style bow fishing.
And I don't know if I'm doing it on a duck boat. I think I want to be more comfortable than that.
Right.
I want to be more platform than that.
Yeah, more stable, more of a base. I don't know. I see a lot of guys that make like a removable platform for their duck boat, but it's like it's a big John boat style. Like it is stable, flat bottom. You know, we got a dinky little 16 or 14 foot V-hull aluminum. Like
I'm not shooting the ball off that thing.
No, we're not doing that.
No, I do enjoy it because that one year we fucking slaughtered.
We did, and the thing is too is like, you know, I like eating the buffalo carp, the commons. I mean, they just turn into fertilizer. We just fucking donate them to the farmers, but it is a lot, and it's like it's fun when you hit the spawn on the head in the spring. Like the bow, shooting a bow is just fun in general, and like I've always had bows, and I've always had a nice bow that's been like a hunting style bow, and I've always had a bow fishing bow, and it kind of took for me to like really start shooting to really want to like bow hunt again. So now we're in this thing where it's like, yeah, we're gonna try to chase turkeys. If we're having a hard time with waterfowl, we're gonna do archery deer, stuff like that. But now I'm back to like square one, where it's like I haven't got a new bow in almost 10 years. Like that bow tack has been, I've had that for long over, I mean, it's got to be every bit of 10 years. And I got that sight 2 or 3 years ago already. Like, I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've had to set up a bow, and it sucked.
Yeah, last time I shot bow was probably with my cousin, and before that was
10 years ago.
Yeah, in high school.
Years, yeah, 10 years ago.
11 now.
Yeah, we had our 10 year last year.
Oofda. We're getting old. Fucking A.
Crazy. So, I'm sure most people don't actually know, but the Garmin sites, they have a rangefinder built into them. So you have a lot of like calibrating to do too. So
does it tell you a number? Because it certainly did not when I was trying to fuck around with it.
So you hit your little trigger, and I don't know what the closest range it'll do. Like, I don't know if it's doing 3 yards or not, So I reset the whole thing, and it asks you to start at 15 yards. And it just drops a pin. And you're just supposed to shoot off that pin, and you say, hey, this hit or it didn't hit. And it asks you, like, are you on target? And you say no. And then you adjust your rails, or you move that sight down, you move the pin down. It's a lot of shit. So then it's like, if anybody...
You're more of a patient man than I am.
Yeah, and it's like, so you have actually more than standard adjustments too, because typically you chase your arrow with your rail adjustments. So like on a standard 3-pin, if you're low and left, you would lower your sight and you would go left, which would cause you to aim high right. Well, on this you can actually like physically adjust where that electronic pin is getting dropped, so you can raise and lower that as well. So it's like, even if you're on your highest setting on your rail, you can still adjust your pin on the electronic on the inside of the reticle. So it's a lot. And I don't, like, at 15 yards, I should be hitting dead center. I should be tight. So it's like, I spent a lot of time adjusting that thing, obviously, with 100 shots through it.
Do you think sometimes technology is almost too much, though?
Yeah, and it's stupid because, like, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I own a rangefinder, too.
Because my argument with that would be, especially with just the little bit of testing I did with that site, I looked at your neighbor's house, and then I looked at the neighbor's house across the street, and I just kind of fucked with it once you took it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool-ish. But now you ran out of battery.
Yeah, and I will say, so like, it is interchangeable AAAs, and it has like a solar backup on it, which is really cool. Again, it comes down to like, are you hunting in low light conditions? Because that sucks. But it does have like its own like little built-in reserve. That thing is just fucking beat to shit.
This thing is completely just, look at that. Look at the end of that. That's what I basically started with.
Yeah.
And I tried to dip it to hold it together. We're talking about our cigars, sorry. Mine's beat the fuck out. But, no, for me, from a hunting aspect, I'd rather know from more of a basic way of doing it with your old, like, common sights,
Yeah,
back when.
So that's the thing too, is like, back in the day, you have a 3-pin sight. You basically step off of your shooting lanes. You're like, okay, like if a deer comes into this lane and it's here, like you use landmarks and stuff like that. And you're like, this is 15, this is 2, And I've had plenty of 3 and 5-pin sights. And it's progressed so much. Now a lot of people are shooting dial-in 1-pins. So they set their dial, you crank it to 50 yards, and your single pin is at 50 yards. Well, now they got these things that can range find and drop a pin for you. So it's like you don't have to adjust any individual pins. You just you sight it in at all of these ranges. You range it, and if it's 47 yards, it's going to drop a 47-yard pin. Or it's going to drop it, like instead of being like, okay, I got a 15, a 25, and a 35, and this deer walks out at 18, I got to somehow float the difference between a 15 and a 25. Now it's just dropping an 18-yarder. And it's maybe a millimeter of difference or something like that, but you can put that right on, you're right behind your shoulder, and you can know you're 18. It takes guesswork out of it. But yes, you come down to the fact of like, technology can fail.
That's where I'm like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it, just because of the sole fact that I've run out of batteries on things that I've spent a lot of money on.
Right.
That shouldn't have ran out of batteries. Like,
at the end of the day, can you fully trust it?
Right. And also, are you better or worse off when you're using like the rudimentary type of things?
Well, and that's the funny thing is we had somebody up at camp. They're Iowa hardcore bow hunters. They run this huge operation. They used to like book hunts out of it, but they shoot all traditional bows, no sights, no releases. Like standard. 2 limbs, no cams, no nothing. Like not shooting compound bows. They're shooting traditional bows.
Oh wow!
Like recurve.
That's
like
actually fucking
Robin
crazy.
Hood style.
Yeah.
Like they're 3-fingering it, holding their air, like nuts. And one of the guys actually built them. They're pretty fucking sweet.
That's fucking wild.
But it's all instinct, right? Like you're point and shoot from that standpoint. Like you don't have sights. You're at best you're looking down the arrow shaft.
Right.
And that's crazy to me. Like
where you're aiming it is where you're putting it, and you're aiming. Fuck, I don't know if I could do it.
I personally don't feel confident enough to do that. Like, I think that's a morality thing at the end of the day. If you feel confident in whatever you do, obviously do it. But, like, I don't feel confident that I could do that and make a clean, efficient, effective kill every time. So it's like, I'm not going to do it.
So I'm 100% in between. I'm not an everyday bow hunter either. So take this as you will. But for me, I'm more like rudimentary as far as anything hunting based in that manner.
Yeah.
Now, do I want a gun versus a bow? Obviously, those are two very different things, because would I rather have like a decent sight on my gun? Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Would I put technology behind that? No. So I guess that would be standard across the board. My problem is technology and it's not that I'm technologically stupid or anything, but like more often than not, I've seen technology fail me in the time I need it most. So from a bow perspective especially, I would rather be proficient at like a 3-pin sight and know what all my pins are current at, how well I shoot at them, and spend the time to practice with them like diligently, like very, very. Once a week I'm going to shoot this many arrows out of my bow at different feet marks, everything, so that whatever happens I don't have to rely on a fucking battery.
Right. And see, like, I totally respect that. Like, it's funny because there's extremes to all of it, right? Like, you got extreme technology, which you could put me in that realm. Then you got, like, extreme from the rudimentary standpoint of, like, using absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy to me because I don't trust that. I trust human error less than I trust technology. Like, I don't trust myself enough to be able to just, like, look at something and be like, okay, like, I can just do this without any help whatsoever. That's crazy to me. Like, it's so weird to, like, these people that shoot that traditional bow style or they spear hunt and stuff like that. I'm like, I just don't confidently think that I can do that without any help. And maybe that's a knock on me. I don't know.
I would argue it isn't a knock on you, but I can't diligently rely on a site that's for me more specifically is a site that's not more rudimentary. I would rather have the site be rudimentary and then I use a rangefinder.
Sure.
That's where I'm at. Is like use technology where it and I can't say it should be used, but like for me, I would rather range it and then be like, okay, I've ranged you at 30 yards, so I know exactly where I'm going to put that on my bow with a pin or in between two pins or whatever it may be, because that's always going to be most of the time, I can't say 100%, but you're going to be pretty close to that 100% mark.
See, the thing with that, though, is, too, like, a rangefinder battery will die.
Well, then go full traditional.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, like, it comes back to, like, yes, you should do your due diligence regardless. Like, at the end of the day, like, the Garmin has a fail-safe. Like, you can just have a 3-pin sight on it, right? Like, If the battery's dead, you can still have your 3 pins. If your rangefinder battery's dead, like, you should know landmarks. Like, it comes back to still, like, knowing what you're hunting, right? Like,
yeah, it's still like sort of paying attention to what the fuck you're doing. Like, that's what it boils down to, regardless of technology or no technology. You still have to actively pay attention to what you're marking, what you're glassing, all of that.
because at the end of the day, like, if I'm setting up in a tree, I know for a fact that I'm still doing my due diligence of, like, okay, this is expected paths. This is where I've seen deer sign. This is an obvious trail. Mm-hmm. This is an open area. This is a shooting lane. I'm still going to do my due diligence, whether I do it with a rangefinder or whether I step it off with my feet and try to get as close as humanly possible.
Right.
I'm still going to try to actively memorize and know what those distances and lanes are. Like, okay, this lane in front of me is 18 yards. If it comes out at 18 yards, sure, I might rangefind it to confirm that. I might use my Garmin sight to drop my pin at 18 yards, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I know that's 18 yards. So if I have to hover between 15 and 25, I can do that.
Yep.
I feel more comfortable knowing that I have a pin that's dropped right on 18 and I don't have to guess between 16 and 24.
Well, and I think, too, you get comfortable with tech. Yeah. And that's just in general, to where, like, it just starts taking... Because I've noticed that with myself, to where... Like, something as basic as your every day-to-day lifestyle, you're like, yeah, well, I don't need to do this anymore because I've got this that'll just cover it for me. So I think we get into that mentality, and so then you just solely rely on that, and you stop paying attention to what you're doing when you're doing it.
Yes.
So into sighting a bow, that's a perfect example of it. Like, as you're sighting it, especially if you're using tech, I would encourage you to pay direct attention to how and when and why you're doing everything, because otherwise you're just leaning solely on that thing.
Yes, and I think that's where shit gets lost, is like you get so one-dimensional and you do rely on it so much, and it's not always reliable, and it's not always going to work, and you run into bugs and things go wrong. And I will say too, like, sighting I probably could have sighted in 5 pins in 100 shots on a traditional, so, like, there is downfalls to it. Like, I ran into a lot, like, it was more of a chore than it should have been to make this thing work. Now you weigh your pros and cons, and I still think it's worth it at the end of the day, otherwise it wouldn't be on my bow.
Pitching it off the bow.
But like, now I have to take 2-3 days to actually sight my bow in fully, and it should be a day chore.
Right. It's all give and take. I mean, realistically, technological advancements are going to continue to go, and that's with anything. But there's a give and a take on both ends. So yes, it is new. It sounds great. It's up there in the price point. You spend your money on it. I've been burned by that 1,000 times too. So it just because it's new doesn't mean it's great.
Yeah.
Too. So I think there's just a perspective portion.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to all of it.
Yeah, and you have to just try shit out, and, like, I mean, something as stupid as, like, we just talked about the other day. I've got a headlamp that I spent almost $90 on, and it's one of the fucking black diamonds, and there's no recharge pack with that. It's 4 AAA batteries, and that thing fucking dies more than I care to even mention. It pisses me off, you know, and I spent a good amount of money on it. It's supposed to be the best product on the market, blah 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 blah, and when we're out ice fishing, I want a goddamn good headlamp. Well, then I went and picked up a Husky from the old Home Depot, and it's got a rechargeable battery in it with a USB-C charger, and that thing will last me half the fucking winter, and it was a quarter of the price. I spent maybe $40, so half the price, I guess.
Yeah. Good little segue. I just got a new headlamp too.
What'd you pick up?
I picked an O-Light up. Have you heard of O-Light?
Like orgasm light?
O-Light. Oh, yeah.
Hitting the O.
The big O?
The big O.
The big O, but a light version.
Good?
Incredible. I got it from a Black Friday deal. And the one that I got's called the Purin 3.
Okay.
And it's a stick light. So it's like on a bar, and it's just got a little, circle light on it, and it clips into a headlamp, so you can use it as like an individual, like everyday carry flashlight, also as a headlamp. And that thing shoots light. I mean, it's like the high beam goes for fucking ever. Like, I put it on to check on the dogs the other night, and I felt bad for my neighbors because it just kept fucking going, and I was like, oh my god, like I just shot a
solid beam.
I just shot a spotlight into my fucking neighbor's window, and it was $60. It's got a magnet recharge, so the recharge cable is magnetized, just clips onto the bottom of the thing, and that magnet also doubles, like you can use it as a work light, or you can magnetize it to the car hood or whatever, like whatever you're working on. It blew me away for $60.
That's a weird thing, is like, then maybe there's a bunch, well, you know what, I can say this. There are a bunch of guys I knew, including you yourself, who I fucking love buying flashlights.
Yeah.
I'm so terrible.
Yeah, I got one laying right here.
Yeah, like, I love good flashlights. I love
little streamlight,
having lights available, because the worst part of, like, to me, the worst thing you can do is be stuck in the dark, I guess.
Well, especially like with what we do, like I feel like we're always like working on something, and when you can't fucking see, you can't do something. You can't do it, right? Like, we spend so much time, like, especially in the outdoors too, where it's like, okay, like hunting, I have to have a good headlamp.
100%.
We push our fishing outings late.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Like, I fucking left a rod box on the lake because we forgot a headlamp.
Oh, I forgot you did that.
So it's like you
idiot.
don't get to see, like, being able to see is so important in the shit that we do. Like, it's crazy. And then you start to have like some of these brands that are just highway robbery, and you got just some cheap garbage. But then there is good stuff that falls somewhere in between a lot of times.
I bought a Energizer one from Menards. That's most people would probably argue is hot garbage, but I spent
and it was affordable. 20, like, people write that
I spent like 25, 30 bucks on it, and it's still probably the longest running headlamp that I have.
Yeah.
And it goes in my bag, my tackle bag, for if I happen to forget my good one, I at least have a backup. Or if somebody's with me fishing, I have a backup. And that light sustained the same fucking batteries for an entire 2 ice fishing seasons. I haven't put a battery in it. And it's the Energizer.
And that's crazy.
Bullshit fucking headlamp one, and it got used and abused for sure. And then I got the stupid Black Diamond one that I spent all this fucking money on that will not hold a battery. Like, if you keep the batteries in them, and I normally just keep it at my center console, if you just keep the batteries in it, it just slowly eats itself. That's what I've learned.
And that should never happen.
No.
It's not it actually on. There should be no draw coming through it.
Big shout out directly at Black Diamond, because I spent a lot of money on your fucking headlamp.
Or lack of shout out.
Like, what would it be? Shout at?
Yeah,
shout
or
at?
calling you out.
Call out. So if you're looking for ice fishing headlamps, I would go with the Husky, because that Husky has done me favors and a half, and then I can plug it into my charger at the end of my hunt, fish, whatever I'm doing, and it charges really fast, and it was a hell of a lot cheaper. And fuck you, Black Diamond. I'm sorry, I'm just doubling down on it.
So, and I, again, like Ty said too, like, we like our lights. I had a Browning headlamp, and I had a lot of good things to say about it for the longest time, and mine stopped holding a charge now. Like, I barely get a couple hours out of it on medium, and that was never, like, I used to get 6 to 8 hours out of it, you know, easily. I'd get 2-3 hunts, set up decoys, whatever, you know, and we're out there 2 hours early setting up decoys, running the headlamp, and now I barely get an hour out of it. Like, I can barely get set up with that without it, like, kicking down into low mode on the low battery mode.
Yeah, which just sucks.
Stupid. So I don't necessarily know, like, that was my first rechargeable headlamp, like, solely rechargeable battery headlamp. And I don't know if that's just the expected life out of it. I got it. It ran good for 2 years. This third year has been less than impressive, which is why I went to the Olight. We'll see if the Olight does the same thing. I don't know. I'm extremely happy with the Olight now.
We'll have an update for you on
We'll
that.
update it.
We'll be using that for sure.
Which I think is a great segment into little holiday gift guide.
Yeah, the holidays are here, ladies and germs.
This is going to be extremely tight to Christmas. So this is going to be pretty much solely for the procrastinators, which I fall into that category.
Same.
I still need to get my wife her Christmas presents.
Oh, you're fucked.
We've done pretty much everything else. I still got to get old Dano some stuff, but
I'm set.
But you still have other people to get for, so don't talk like you're fucking perfect.
No, I'm not perfect, but I am perfect in the wife category, which is realistically the only ones that matter.
Well, guess what? I'm going to have it before Christmas, and she's not going to know any better.
I'm going to tell her. I'm telling her.
Unbelievable.
I might call her now.
Unbelievable. Yeah, let's just get her on the line.
Let's just put her on speakerphone here, and we'll just let her know. No, I got my wife set up mostly just the only reason I'm ahead of the curve this year at my wife. And I'm sure a lot of men can attest to this, but Jesus fucking Christ, your wives are the hardest people to shop for.
They're so hard.
Oh my God. My wife sent me one thing. It was a coat.
Yeah, and you tried to get it for her birthday.
Yeah, and it wasn't happening.
So the only reason you're ahead is because her birthday present came late.
I also got her a birthday present still.
Hopefully she doesn't actually listen to this one.
She won't.
We might have guilted her into listening to this one.
Well, and if you did, thanks, honey. I love you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for the support.
Yeah. No, as all guys, probably have this problem, but, like, we all buy shit for ourselves, so getting something for your significant other is almost impossible. So I bought her this coat that she sent me on her birthday, which is December 10th. So I have to double down, boys. If you're...
I got January 6th.
Yeah, so you have to double down,
boat.
too. Yeah, you're 100% in the same boat.
Almost like equally the amount of time.
100%. Yeah, it's
Actually,
terrible.
Mine's worse.
It's 2 and 2 right off the bat, and it's like,
brutal.
Cool. And then she sends me...
I just spent all my money on you for Christmas. Now I have to get you a birthday present.
What do you want for your birthday? She sends me one fucking coat. What do you want for Christmas? She goes, I don't know. I just kind of want that coat. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
this
I fucked up for your birthday.
Yeah, this should be super easy. Here's a bottle of wine for your birthday, which we drank together. Cool. Awesome. Good husband fucking tactic here. But, so she's getting a coat for her birthday. The one she wanted. And I'm going to get her a good pair of gloves.
Yeah.
Because she's always bitching her hands are cold, and which is true because she buys just bullshit gloves.
So that is huge. I will say, like, cold weather stuff is huge. I mean, staying warm is extremely important.
Especially for your lady friends, because I think we all experience this. Everybody buys the cutesy bullshit from Instagram that all the influencers are fucking wearing.
Yep.
When you're from Minnesota, you need a real glove. And if it's not cute, that's fine.
So be it. My
God, it's a matter of safety almost. Like
100%. Yeah, like...
Good Lord. My wife wears these little tiny... I don't even know where she got them. They're literally the size of her hands. She's got these tiny little hands, and this glove fits snug on her hands.
Just tight as can be.
Yeah.
No insulation.
No,
whatsoever.
and she's like walking out on the lake. She came out on the lake with me. We checked one of them last Friday, and I'm like, hey, the little's not home yet. Do you want to go do something like
fun?
Yeah, it was fun for me, not for her at all. She gets out on the lake. We're like halfway off the landing, like maybe 200 yards, and she's like, God, my hands are getting cold. And I look back, and
you're like, no fucking
yeah.
shit.
It's this thin little piece of shit glove that's like a what's the main coat brand for women?
Patagonia,
North Face.
Yeah.
Face. She's wearing these tiny, skinny little North Face gloves, and I'm like, those probably cost $60. I think I bought them for her, to be honest.
Yeah, they might be $100 gloves.
Yeah,
they don't do a damn thing for you.
Not worth a shit. I'm like, they look really nice on you. And that's about it. Yeah, you're better off to wear like a fucking rubber glove.
Right. Yeah, put them in your fucking pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think like things that keep you warm are a huge thing on the gift guide. One of the things that I was going to talk about was like some of the heated apparel, like the vests, the gloves, the socks. Like,
be careful with the socks.
Why?
I just seen a video this morning.
Did it blow up?
It blew up.
Take his feet off?
Without it being on.
Oh God, I have a pair of battery powered socks.
Maybe don't.
They're nice.
Yeah, don't.
I like them in my waders, but
check where they're from.
I'm gonna lose my toes over it.
So what I saw was a video of a guy, and he had some heated socks, and they weren't on even. He was just wearing them, and then like the goal obviously is to turn them on when you need them,
right?
Like every heated thing.
Right.
He actually ended up with 3rd-degree burns on his feet.
Oh, God.
Both feet. For whatever reason, they blew up, and
that's so sketchy.
They weren't on.
So I will say, like,
they were China. Sorry, okay. that was my last point. That was the point I was getting to. Is they were cheap China ones. So I guess if the argument could be made, maybe it's better if they're made here. But to me, that put me completely out on all heated anything because I'm not trying. They had to cut his sock out of his skin.
Oh God, that's so gross.
And then graft skin.
I will say the Action Heat brand, I have used their socks. I've had no issues with them. I have their heated gloves. They make other stuff too, like the jackets and the vests and stuff like that. I have had no problems with them. Obviously, do with that what you will. If you have extreme issues with feet, like with your cold feet, maybe it's an option. Maybe the heated socks thing isn't for you, whatever. But like,
and I'm a cold feet guy.
Yeah,
I am.
There are good brands that do make heated apparel. So
I'd argue my after seeing more about it, the corkers that I wear, I'm starting to think maybe I just have bad circulation or something.
Oh, it might be unique to you.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because I kind of shit on them. I think probably
the last episode, or the special edition episode, I think it was. We did shit on them.
And now I'm starting to wonder if it's not me, because my feet get cold real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, my feet are cold now.
Yeah.
Are your feet cold?
No.
Okay, I'm also in work boots, though, so.
That's true, but I'm just also in just like standard like little mud boots. No insulation.
Fair. Okay, so there you have it.
I mean, it's chilly
could
in here, but it could be a circulation thing. But yeah, I think that's one that would be on my list, especially for people who do get cold and who do a lot of activities in the outdoors in the cold weather. Get a quality pair of heated apparel. I mean, I think that's something that's neat. I think my brother actually gave me those heated socks, and I was pretty excited about that, and I've used them quite a bit.
A good thing for the holiday season for your man, your brother, your guy friend, whoever you're buying for. Something that always is a good like clutch point is go to a Shields or a tackle shop and just say, hey, I know so-and-so likes fishing for this, and they can always point you in the right direction. It's always nice getting a little bit of tackle for Christmas.
Yeah.
Headlamps are always good. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, I've got from the lowest quality to the highest quality. As far as a headlamp goes, it's still always a win if I get something like that, because
and I would think too, like staying like mid-budget style, like worst case is it ends up as a backup.
You're
And
right.
like we just talked about, like we love having backups because
And I like having backups and then a backup for the backup.
correct,
Because
yeah,
the worst
so,
thing
like,
that you can have happen is you get out there and you don't have it at all.
yes,
And I've spent those nights doing it off of the phone flashlight. And it's
sucks.
fucking terrible.
Sucks.
It like doubles your time for backup.
And guess what? Like you can't do it when you're driving a track sled. You can't do it when you're you have a heavy load and you need two hands to pull the sled. Like,
Which we're going to put some LEDs on that track
yes,
sled
we have to.
with a battery.
Yes.
And that's going to be our next build for that. But
Yeah.
and then another thing is rangefinders. That's always good if you can find a decent price.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Having like fail safes to like some of your electronics or your traditional stuff. Like, I mean, take into consideration what your significant other does. Like, for me, I rely heavy on electronics, but having a fail safe rangefinder is always important, and there are budget friendly ones.
Portable heaters, kind of same thing. Tumblers, those are always nice.
Yeah, and I think
this
that
time
goes
of year.
for both genders. I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah,
the Stanleys
100%.
were huge for the women.
Yep.
Guys love
Yep.
Yetis. I mean, Yeti
We all
came
like
up-
to have a little mixy,
Yeah.
especially once the castles start flowing. Those are good waypoints.
Or like Yeti came out with their drinkware line now, and we saw that at the ice show. You know, they make shot glasses. They make
Yeti shot glasses.
the shakers where you
Yeah.
mix your cocktails in. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff from that side. So like Yetis are sweet for dudes. I think the Stanleys are kind of still the big thing for the women.
Yep. What else do we? Multi-tools.
Multi-tools and knives. I thought I lost
Yeah.
my knife today.
Yeah, knives are great for guys.
Crazy.
And those are always a really good, like, solid, like, middle of the road price point.
Yep.
So if you're looking to spend like a solid $35, $40, or I would argue even like probably $25 to $45. That's right in the middle usually. A good pocket knife goes a long ways.
And I will say too, like, if you do want to spend a good chunk, you can even splurge on it, and like your guy is going to appreciate it. He's going to know that it's like of value, right? Like, if you want to spend $100 and go out and get a Benchmade or something like that, like,
yeah.
your guy's still going to be like, okay, holy shit, like, this is a really nice knife, and it's going to be a great gift. But also, if you need a middle of the road or even a budget friendly, like, I'm going to say even like the little Swiss Army, like, little multi-tool thing, like even the tiny little ones that are $15-$20, it's great stocking stuffer.
Well, and I always 100% of the time carry
Both
a
of
pocket
us
knife
do.
with me.
Yep.
Yeah. And
We both have one in our pocket. I have one laying here. Like, I have one.
Max just tipped his mic off the table there.
I have one in almost like.
See how excited you got,
I'm
ladies?
so excited. I love knives.
And some of you ladies might want a knife too. So
That's true. Yeah, and they make pink and purple knives. If you
Yeah.
like pink and purple knives,
They make them all. It's, to me, if you're outdoorsy at all, I think it's one of probably the main tools. This thing is a screwdriver. It's a pry bar. It's a knife when it needs to be a knife. I've used it for everything. This thing used to spring. I'll just show it on the camera
Can we
view
show
here.
it?
Yeah.
Can we?
Can we not?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I got a Smith & Wesson Black Ops knife, and this thing has been in my pocket now for all of 5 years that I've had this one.
Yeah.
This is the longest lasting one I've had. This is also probably the 5th one, but this one specifically I probably had for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Because normally I lose them at stupid events.
Yeah.
Like I lost my last one at a Vikings game.
Yeah, and see, like,
Skull Vikes.
that's where it's tricky too, because we do lose shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, maybe staying in the middle of the road is better or even budget friendly. Like, I have Cobra Techs, I have Benchmades, kind of expensive. I thought I lost my Cobra Tech today, like, and in the building. You know, it's like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you use it so much that sometimes you just misplace shit.
You just set it down and you never see it again.
So now you're talking like the outdoor edges, the Gerbers, the what was yours?
Mine's a Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson. You know, like there's some that are in that like $20 to $40 price point that are really good knives. I carry my outdoor edge a lot of times over my Cobra Tech even.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there's a time and a place for a lot of those. Like that outdoor edge is a $24 knife and it's interchangeable blades. Like there's a lot of benefits to that.
Yeah, 100%. I like the interchangeable blade ones, for sure. Especially come deer season. If you're looking to skin a deer, my favorite time to skin a deer with those said knives with the interchangeable blades is when the knife is like right in between being ready for a new knife.
Yeah,
because you're not cutting through the hide.
Because they're crazy sharp.
They
on
are.
The box.
I've fucked myself up on one of those.
Those are nasty.
1 year.
I mean, we've had a lot of like scary.
Yeah, you're pulling back. You're pulling back, and you're doing it. And so now, mind you, we're in the butcher field, and we're one of very few people who take whole carcass deer.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of them.
So we're doing a ton in a day. So by like day 5 is usually, generally speaking, when people start cutting themselves, because you get almost like frustrated with doing it.
And you're also in like a zombie state where you're just almost doing it with your eyes closed.
And I've got my scars to prove it.
No, that one in between the fingers.
Right here, my middle finger.
Yeah.
I seen bone on that one.
Yeah.
With one of those knives.
I've done a lot of filleting myself with those style of knives too. Where you're just grabbing it and it slips through and it's just like, and it just takes just the thinnest layer off.
Yep. I've taken the point, I've taken the side, I've taken every aspect on them. So do be careful with your knives.
Yeah.
God damn it, ladies and gentlemen. But it is a good gift.
Yeah.
I can never have too many knives laying around. I've got one attached to my tackle bag. I've got one in the truck. I've got one always on my hip. I've got 2 in the house for certain things. So that's a good gift for sure.
Another one I think, and I freaking love these things, and I have tons of them, is they're an electronic hand warmer, but they're also a battery pack. They're so nice. You throw them in your pocket. It's a portable phone charger. It's a hand warmer. You can charge camera gear off of it. Like, I use those things all the freaking time.
You talking about your jack-off?
The jack-offs.
What are they actually called?
Okumpas.
Okumpa.
Oh, you're thinking the Jackeries.
The Jackery. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking, they're like little battery packs, but they also have like a hand warmer function. So instead of using like the shake it hot hands, these things that you just push a button and all of a sudden they heat up. And they're also like 10,000 milliamp battery packs too.
Oh,
so they're like
nice.
they're so slick. I throw them in my hand muffs all the time because like for me, like when I'm goose or duck hunting, I can't wear gloves.
Yeah.
So I throw those things in my hand muff. It just fucking lights the hand muff on fire, basically. So you just tuck your hands into them.
And they're warm.
Right
off the bat.
You know,
and that makes a big difference for sure. I mean, a simplistic something like that. You have no idea how like important it is just to stick your hands in, and even if you're in there for just a minute or two, yeah, like
just a little bit of relief, like There's been so many times, like last time we were out goose hunting and I was just shredding on the call, and like there's times where you're 5, 6, 10 minutes on a call where you're just.
Mm-hmm. Is that what they sound like?
Yeah. And like my hands were fucking freezing after that. You know, because you can't wear gloves because it muffles it and everything. Same thing with fishing too. Like,
well, even holding a gun,
right?
Like I carried my gun out that one day you and I went to like try and jump shoot a couple of birds, and I carried the fucking gun barehanded out there.
Yeah,
and like, it had been sitting in my truck all day.
The metal's cold, the stock's cold.
Yeah,
you can't fit a glove into the trigger guard.
No, so I'm like,
the guns.
Even if I wanted to shoot something, I'm not sure if my hands are operating correctly.
Right.
At that point. So those are super good gift points for people. There's so many options, and honestly I would argue if you have an outdoorsman person that you're shopping for, arguably is to me almost easier to shop for.
100%.
Even my brothers, like, they're both into ice fishing hard. My one brother's into duck hunting, goose hunting, stuff like that. So for me, these are the types of gifts I'm getting them because at the end of the day, you don't even need a gift receipt because you know they're going to use it.
Yeah.
So think about it that way. What can they use? And if not, there's always the old trusty, which is a gift card to wherever the fuck you know they shop.
Yeah. Shields gift card, Gander Mountain gift card, Harbor Freight gift card.
Yeah.
Easy.
I hate to do this twice in an episode.
Dude, I gotta pee so bad.
I don't know if it's the cold or what it is. We're going to stop here for a second.
One more time, we'll come back with our little whiskey review, and then we'll close out.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Bye. We'll be right back.
We're back.
We back.
Potty break again.
Potty break. We ordered some pizza for while we're editing.
Yep.
Great time for probably our whiskey segment. I think we covered pretty much everything from our last minute Christmas list. Basically, it was just our own wish list, just told to the world.
Yeah, pretty much just perpetuated to you guys. So, and I feel like a lot of people are maybe on the same page.
It's relatable.
Yeah.
Okay. We are drinking.
Yeah, you better show them the bottle.
Old Clyde May. Clyde May's straight bourbon whiskey, carefully crafted, 92 proof.
It was very carefully crafted.
Kanaka Ridge?
Kanaka Ridge
Distillery. Available since 1946, legal since 2001. Say what you be and be what you say.
It wasn't legal. It wasn't legal until then.
It says available since 1946, legal since 2001.
Prohibition was a long time before that.
I don't know if you guys can see that. You probably can't, but... And then I like their little caption and says, say what you be and be what you say.
Yeah, you want your whiskey, Shay? Then you do that, Shay.
Sorry, it's 2000 and you can't have any. It's not legal.
Yeah, this thing wasn't legal until 2001. I can't really get over that. That's 1946, though. You're the math guy. It's 2024.
1946 to 2024 is 78 years.
So yeah, this was pre-prohibition, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This used to come in little moonshine bottles on the run. That's kind of cool, actually.
And Clyde May probably made it way back in the day.
Well, that was his big kind of shtick, wasn't it? They were robbing banks and they were making
whiskey.
That's cool.
So, this is a new one at the old Arnold Liquor Emporium here in Janesville.
Or in Waterville.
I actually thought I was going to have to stop in the Waterville one. We missed an order that needed to go to Waterville. I thought I was going to have to run that over there and make a little pit stop over there, but we got her sorted out, and I was able to hit the Janesville one, and I found old Clyde there. Talked to him. He said highly recommended.
Shop to your local Arnie Liquor in Waterville or Janesville.
Yeah. And I will say, not bad.
It's actually a pretty decent
Pretty
whiskey.
solid.
We've been sucking on it all night.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, it ain't too bad.
I will say, like, there's nothing that, like, just glaringly sticks out on it, but there's also nothing that, like, I glaringly dislike either.
No, it's actually...
You know, like, it's just kind of, like...
It's a solid sweet bourbon. I would say it's sweeter, on the sweeter side.
It's just good. Like,
the notes are good. I can feel it on the back of my nose, especially.
Ever so slightly. Like, it's not spicy by any means. We've had way, way, way hotter on this podcast. It's just solid. It's enjoyable. Like, I think it'd be a killer mixer.
Yeah, this would be a fantastic old fashioned.
It's not like it doesn't have any like crazy profound flavors that like I like am blown away with on just drinking it straight. Mm-hmm. But it's solid. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, it's a good. What was the price point on it?
42.
Okay, so a little higher.
But also we're shopping local, you know, like it's not your typical like name brand average bottle that like, you know, it's kind of like a niche thing, specialty thing for a small town like us, I would say. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know, like it's decent.
Now chill what? It's in cursive on the bottle.
Filtered?
Non-chill filtered? No, chill filtered. Non-chill filtered. I don't know. That's a hard one. The bottle says something.
It is kind of unique.
We did cursive, but doesn't mean we can read cursive.
I can read the carefully crafted cursive part, but Clyde May's signatures on there. I don't know. It's just solid. It's not like my favorite. It's by all means not my lead. It's not anywhere close to my lower levels.
No, because we've had a couple of bottles in the last season, especially where it was fucking terrible. What the hell was it? It was like Wild West or something.
Not good.
Eesh. I still like cringe every time I see the bottle in the store.
I would say we're 3 for 3 right now, actually, on pretty solid ones.
Yeah, this is a good bottle buy. I'd recommend it. Give it a try. It's kind of sweet right up front.
Yeah.
It still has that bourbon backlash on it where there's a tiny bit of burn.
Yeah.
It's a good caramely flavor, I would argue.
At 92 proof, like I said, not overly hot. I mean,
even the smell profile of it is sweeter.
Smooth. It's very like it's friendly. I don't so the tasting notes, a lot like Ty said, there's a lot of fruitiness, so it's kind of sweet. There's blackberry, peach, apple, caramel, nutmeg. Warm notes of peach and caramel, plus toasted oak and light spice. Like the light spice is spot on because it's enough to give you like a little tingle, but nothing more. Like
you're not getting cayenne on the back end. Like
no, it's not making you cough and snort. Like
yeah, this is a pretty solid.
Good. I mean, like so. I'm gonna be honest. I pick up fruitiness and I have a hard time telling what it is, and I think it's maybe because they're saying there's so many different ones. Like for blackberry, peach, apple, strawberry. Like that's a lot of different sweet fruits going on. And I mean it's definitely it's got the fruity flavors to it for sure.
A lot of fruit.
The caramelness, it's smooth. I mean, it's good.
Sorry if you hate me, but
try it on the mixie, huh? I feel like this isn't a good ginger ale one.
Terrible with ginger ale.
Not great.
Wouldn't recommend for a friend. Here you go,
I
friend.
feel like we're not friends then.
Oh, well, no. Would recommend for this friend.
No, not great. Mm-mm. The ginger takes away everything out of it.
Actually, yeah, it completely demolishes it. I almost argue
It's almost like
maybe
nothingness. Like you almost have to spice it up a little bit.
Oh, we didn't do the bottle.
Little scoops.
There's a little ASMR for you folks who need it. No, that's a good bottle buy. Clyde's, you're looking for a good whiskey on ice, or honestly, I would put this in an old fashioned all day long.
I do too, and I think like
not too much sweet.
you
What I
can't do
wouldn't
too much
add,
simple syrup.
Yeah. So I wouldn't add too much simple syrup, and if you're using like a sugar cube, if you can do it, I would probably argue half a cube.
Yeah, and I would almost argue, and this is crazy to me because I fucking love maraschino cherries. I don't know if I would even do a cherry in it.
It's sweet enough to maintain it without it.
I think so.
You need
And I
an
think,
orange
like,
peel in it.
Orange peel is fine. I think if you go cherry, like it's going to take away from some of the other fruits that are going on in it, which I don't think that. I mean, it's maybe a Manhattan would even be better.
Probably. Because you're going to get... Manhattans are a little more bitter.
Yep, you got something that balances out the fruity flavors on it. I think it would complement it a little bit more. But that being said, like just straight up,
This would be a bottle, actually, just out of curiosity, that I would pour into one of those pre-made barrels. Have you seen those little barrels that you can put them in and age them?
Yeah.
So, learning what I've learned from one of the bartenders that used to be at Seven West, and now his name completely escapes me. I think it was Aaron, if I remember right.
Aaron?
Yep. My wife and I, when we lived in Mankato, used to go there for our date days. And we'd sit at the bar and we would just test different whiskeys. Because this guy would just bring us consistent. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before. But he would just continue to bring them, and he would know all of everything there is to know about all these whiskeys.
That's crazy.
Which is super cool for a bartender.
Crazy.
Because he legitimately knew what the fuck he was talking about. And he goes, yeah, so I've got this one in this barrel because I know it's good for old fashions, or I know it's good for just a straight drink on ice. And then he was like, these guys I'm aging in this barrel for Manhattans. And he had all the details about it, and he was super cool. And actually, I'd like to touch base with them, like
That'd be
hunt him
kinda
down, just because he knows
Just
what the fuck he's talking
talk
about.
whiskey.
Yeah, and we did. We would sit at the bar, and he would just explain it in the utmost, like, technological and layman's terms at the same time.
Yeah.
So he was a good guy.
That's how you learn stuff, though, too, is like, you know, you have somebody who understands it, but also can dumb it down. Because, like, at the end of the day, I still think we're, like, kind of dumb when it comes to it. Like, I don't have the palate for stuff. Like, this tasting notes list is way beyond. Like, I went to picked up on those specific fruits. Like, I knew it was fruity. I knew it was sweet. Like,
You're right. Yeah, we're not...
and we've gotten better at it. Like, there's been some that we've nailed on the head.
Right. And we're not, like, bourbon snobs either. So I think with that comes a portion of just like disknowledge.
Yeah.
If that's even a word, but like unknowledge.
Lack thereof.
Lack of knowledge.
It's probably a little bit more phonetically correct.
We've had a lot of whiskey tonight, folks, so just bear with us here. No, that's the... this is a good, solid bottle buy. I'd honestly spend the money on it.
And I will say, so this is
Clyde
showing
Hayes.
it's aged for 4 to 5 years in 53-gallon oak barrels in non-chilled filtered. So we were right.
Some of my in-laws on my wife's side actually still have the still from the grandpa Ed. He had a still back during
Really?
it was his still during Prohibition.
That's crazy.
And they actually made a cherry it's like it's hard to classify it, but it's technically like a cherry whiskey,
Okay.
and it's like a white whiskey though,
Sure.
which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've had that out of the still because Darren, her cousin, who kind of picked it up and like took after it, actually brought us some stuff. So
Interesting.
something that I'm gonna make a point to this year is learn how to distill my own whiskey.
That would be so cool.
What are you doing? Oh, you're gone, fucker.
Wait,
Do you want to come back for a week or like a few days in June?
Oh yeah, God yeah. I'm gonna have to.
Because we do this. So luckily, my wife and I, her family has been doing a trip to different resorts up north.
Because she's
in
gonna
Minnesota.
kill you for looping me into this.
I know. No, she won't. No, she won't actually.
She hates me.
The best part about her family is like they want more people.
Yeah.
So like if you bring your friends,
Yeah.
they're so open, and so like you and Danny can both come,
Sure. Yeah.
and I think it would be a ton of fun, and I would recommend it. So we do these different cabins in Minnesota, up north. Usually, from where we're at, it's always about a 2-hour drive plus. Normally, it's been about a 6-hour drive since I've known Danielle.
Yeah.
And this year, we're only doing about a 2. Last year, we did about a 2, so it's super awesome for us.
Yeah,
but
right. It's close.
doesn't matter regardless. So they've done this now for 20, I want to say 27 years. 27 or 28. That they've been going strong.
Crazy.
That they get the whole family together. They rent out a whole resort. And we go fishing. We have a fishing contest. We do like biggest slot limit, biggest
Sure.
panfish, biggest this, biggest that, you know?
Yeah.
And it is totally a freaking blast. And I would recommend if you could get something going like that with your family. This is probably the coolest thing from my outside family that they do. And like we're almost at the point now where the torch is going to be passed to us.
Yeah.
So
keep it going.
as far as like picking a resort, every year a different family within the family picks it. So it's like this family is this year, that family, because like they're different last names, but they all resonate from the same grandma who just died last year.
Sure.
She was 102 years old. Doris was her name. She was a Lejam, and she had a family that was so huge. She had, God damn it, now I'm gonna butcher it. I wasn't prepared.
13 kids.
John.
Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
8, I think. I'm butchering it. I know I am. So if the family's listening, I apologize because I should have probably actually counted the numbers. And I think some of the family does listen.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool. It's super cool. So regardless, it's a large family, and they've done this now for 25. Well, we've surpassed 25. I know that. So we're at like 28 years, I think.
Crazy.
To where every single year they get together at a resort. They all rent out. Like, generally speaking, I feel like we rent out at least half of a resort, if not the full resort on certain ones. And we just all hang out. We have a fishing contest. We eat dinner tonight.
Fun.
Every single night. one family is responsible for cooking dinner for everybody.
Sure.
And then Friday night's like the free night.
Sure.
So like what that means is all the leftovers from the entire week.
Game on.
Yep. You just put out there and everybody eats. So that's been probably one of the coolest parts of this family is that portion of it is just sticking together and sticking to this thing and being 100% like, we're going to do this no matter what.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And now
That would be
we're
so
being
cool.
passed. We're being passed the torch like pretty soon here.
Yeah. That would be sweet. And that's, I mean, if I can swing that in June, I would freaking love that because I think that's so cool.
You guys could come because, like, at one point, all of my mother-in-law's family were coming for years.
Yeah.
Like, her mom, her sister, her sister's boyfriend, like, all of that were coming for years and years. And for a while, like, Chance, one of the cousins, which Chance is a super cool guy, he brought his friends and they stayed with us for 3 years running.
Really?
Yeah. Complete, like a whole other family.
Right. Like
that wasn't even,
yeah. No bloodline whatsoever.
100%. And they were so much fun and just fit in with everybody. So, honest to God, if you wanted to come stay,
That'd be kind of sweet.
I'll let you know the dates. Because you and your wife could come up and you would have a fucking blast.
So fun. That would be so cool.
We eat a lot of good food. We drink a lot of good beer. We golf. Like,
Oh, God, I can't golf.
that doesn't matter. Neither can I. But I do it.
Big golf guy.
Where are we
What
at?
do you think? I think we close it out here.
Yeah. We had a little hypothetical. Sorry there. What's the term for a story?
Anecdotal.
That's what I was looking for.
Well,
Well,
we diverted a little bit from the,
the main page here.
but that's okay. That's what we do.
That's what we are.
So, on that note, we're coming into the holidays. This is going to post on Monday, which will be Christmas Eve. Unfortunately, based on scheduling, I don't think we're going to be able to record. Well, obviously, we're not going to record on Christmas Day. That's a Wednesday,
No.
which is what it is.
We're probably going to take a little week off.
We might take a week off, or we may
Do it in the weekend.
Right, we may do a weekend, post it on a Monday like normal. So we might. We're definitely not recording on Christmas Day. We hope everybody has an incredible Christmas. We're gonna record as soon as possible when we can. If that means we're gonna record the following week, if that means we record when I come back from Red, whatever that means.
Dick
Oh,
face.
Sorry.
Bad cough here.
We will try to get the next episode up as soon as possible. We hope everybody has a great Christmas.
Yeah.
We should have one up before the new year, so we're not even going to wish everybody a happy new year because we'll just do that next time.
Yep, we'll do it next week, or the following week after Christmas. Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Be safe.
And be safe. Make smart choices. Always make smart choices. Don't be pulling your house out on the goddamn lake unless you know it's safe. God damn it. We're doing our due diligence.
We will.
So
do
don't take
due
our word and
diligence.
say, well, Tyler and Max said that it's fine.
side by side,
We're southern Minnesota boys. We're good in our area. It doesn't mean it's good in yours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we're going to damn sure make sure it's good before we do it.
we appreciate you guys coming out and listening to us. So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you guys soon. Cheers, guys.
We love you.
Thanks again.
We'll see you on the next one.